Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Tide Cycling. We are in London today on the Greater London Loop. Yeah, it's about 21.3 kilometers long, relatively short. I think some 250 odd meters of climbing. Nothing really spectacular. We just want to get that route badge, as Innsbruck is closed as of this noon. I actually checked earlier because I wanted to do another route in Innsbruck, but yeah, unfortunately that was not possible any longer. So we still have a couple of routes in that world that we need to finish. And so for today we are choosing London because Yorkshire is the other guest world that is available, which I already completed. And yeah, for those who have been following me, they know that I keep the last rides or the last open routes on Invertopia. I keep open because I can always do them at any point. So yeah, that's why we are in London. Anyhow, yeah, yesterday I did 2 races, which is actually it's supposed to be like one stage of the Flat as Fast, and it is stage 5A and 5B. Did all right. I was actually quite happy with how I did in the 5A. We put some power down, had an average of 3.4 or 3.2 watts, I think, per kilo, which is great. So I was quite happy. We had to let the front group go at some point, though. Just the legs weren't there, and I also overdid it yesterday. It was the first day back after not having been on the bike for 4 days, and I did some cycling earlier that day. I did the proper warm-up for the race, but by that time I already had like 2.5 hours in my legs, something like this. And so yeah, it didn't really help with our plan on doing well in that race. But yeah, be it as it may, it was still a fun race. The first one I kind of liked because it's very short. It's only 4 kilometers long, 4.1. Mac Island Loop, I think it's what it's called. And the second one was then 10 kilometers long. And yeah, for those who haven't watched the movie, go check it out, because I completely died in the 5B stage. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking, but I tried to hang on to the big guys in the front group. And then after, I don't even know, maybe 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers, I was like, it was the first little incline of, I don't even know, like 10-20 meters. And yeah, it became very, very clear to me that it's not happening. And I saw the next group behind me closing in, and I figured, okay, then I'll probably just try to stick around with that group. But they essentially had the same pace as the first group, they were just, 10, 15 seconds behind the first group, not really being able to make ground, but essentially putting out the same power. And on the very, very next incline, I was out of that group. And yeah, after that, there was a third group coming, and there I made a mistake. That was simply that I didn't speed up before they were catching up with me, which meant that they were actually like rolling through, and I had to put in an effort to even make it to the back end of the group. And that coincided once I think I actually made contact with the group, but once that happened, there was the next incline and everything was gone. So yeah, I was then able to hold off the people closing in from behind, but I think I came 37 out of 47. So nothing really great, but we'll try again, and maybe with some proper training and more of these videos and exercises, I should be able to at least hold on to the front group a little bit longer, and ideally actually, well, at some point hopefully make it to the finish line in that group. Anyhow, so just a little update from what happened yesterday. Anyhow, it was still fun, and I put the videos out late, or I uploaded them throughout the night, and then they came online, I think, earlier this morning. So go and check them out. They're aptly named as, I think, stage 5A, 5B, flat is fast. So I try to be consistent with the naming and try to put as much information in as I can. Yeah, so that when you're browsing or searching for certain races, it's easy for you to look and to find the content that I'm trying to put out. I do really hope that you like this. If you're interested in just following, in our case today, a very simple workout routine, essentially being a recovery ride. I don't expect us to go deep into zone 2. I think it will be mainly zone 1. I'm not interested in pushing any big numbers right now, so yeah, all for the recovery, just getting the legs spinning and getting the heart pumping just a little bit to make sure that the lactate gets out of the muscle. And that's pretty much the purpose of today's ride. On top of that, of course, we look at getting that route badge, and hopefully we'll be able to do a couple of more rides here in London. There are actually lots of rides that I haven't done. I want to say the longest ride on Zwift is also in London. But please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the full PRL with some 173 kilometers. So yeah, that's quite a beast. On top of that, it has more than 2,000 vertical meters of climbing, which which would really hurt. Well, depending on how you attack it, right? So if you just set your trainer to erg mode and say, whatever I'm doing, just put out 130 watts, which is what we are on right now, then it will just take a very long time, but the pain might not be as bad as if you were going into full attack mode. Anyhow, yeah, that will have to wait, simply because the last metric century is probably a month ago that I did. Maybe, no, it must be more than a month ago. It was definitely before Christmas, because we had some stoppage time, unfortunately, because I got COVID again for the second time over New Year's, and took some time to, get better. And then we went just back into training mode and, did some kilometers. I think some 300 something kilometers that week. And then the very next week, I got a really bad case of food poisoning that took me out for a couple of days and actually sent me to a hospital. And anyways, I'll spare you the details, but it wasn't pretty. So yeah, and after that, just trying to, get back on the bike, just do a little bit of, getting kilometers under your belt. And after we did yesterday, I think must have been 4 or 5 rides. So we did stage 7, where unfortunately Strava still didn't work, or the data upload to Strava didn't work. So that data I put in manually. So unfortunately won't find anything on Strava. Well, you do, but only the manually updated data or uploaded data. And yeah, then did a ride in Innsbruck, just as a easy peasy ride out. But we did 500 vertical meters, which was nice. And then that was throughout the day. And then in the evening, I was so giddy and thought, okay, come on, we made a good start. I could feel the legs a little bit, but thought, that was nothing really hard that we did earlier that day. So why not get back on the bike? So I did proper warm-up with the pace partner. I think it was Bernie. And after that, decided to jump onto those 2 races. Stage 5 A and B of Flat is Fast. And yeah, the first one was, I want to say, a 7 out of 10, only because I had to let the front group go at some point. I think sticking with them would have definitely pushed me towards a solid 8 out of 10. And the second ride, well, we essentially had nothing left to give, and that showed. As I said, I lost like 3 groups. I highly recommend you watch this video just to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. So if you already feel fatigued, do yourself a favor and, just spin out the legs or do something else other than racing, other than trying to get the heart rate back up. But yeah, I wasn't smart enough for that yesterday, so I had to pay for it. Anyhow, so I was actually briefly considering jumping onto the 5B yet again. That would start in half an hour. Yeah, not quite sure. I don't think... Oh, we might just be done with this ride. So if we manage to get done with this ride before 6:30, then I actually might join the 5B race again, because I think I can manage like 1 8 out of 10 today for 10K. I would again struggle to survive both, but even though the B is the longer of the two, but I do still think that I would be able to manage. But anyways, we'll see how quickly we get around this course here. Also, I do have friends who want to go out for dinner tonight, and I already said that I might be running a little late, but if we don't make the race, then that's also fine. Then I will just go get showered and be on my way, because yeah, that would be also nice to not be the one who's late. Anyhow, so you can see we're over a third in to this ride, and we have done only 44 vertical meters so far. So there's still about 200 meters waiting, or 250 meters waiting. 210 meters waiting for us somewhere on this route. And yeah, you can actually tell that I'm not a native speaker by constantly switching between route and route. And so my apologies. I hope you don't take any offense that I'm bodging up your language if you're a native English speaker. But I do try my best to be concise and try to get, or when I try to get my point across. Anyhow, there will be moments when I have problems, finding the right word, using phrases that don't exist in the English language, that are maybe literal translation from phrases from, I don't know, Denmark or Germany. Although I wouldn't even know a lot of Danish or popular Danish phrases. So would most likely be based on the German language. Anyhow, little detour here into language skills, which I don't really possess. My interest is mainly in the natural science arena. I do like numbers, I do like math, I do like computer science, although I'm not very good at it, but it amazes me what is possible these days. Yeah, I'm actually at the moment working quite happily with AI algorithms, which is just astonishing to me. What some of these algorithms can find, how good they are at, pattern recognition or clustering results in different badges, I guess, and make it such a useful tool when looking at vast amounts of data, sifting through, the needle in the haystack, trying to find the one parameter that can make it or break it in a system of, I don't know, tens, dozens of parameters. So that's been quite nice. But yeah, anyways, if you now decided to turn off this video because I started talking science or nonsensical stuff, then you are forgiven. I do understand that people have reservations towards math and science in general. And just because I like it doesn't mean that the next person does as well. So no judgment here. I hear you. If you are, not very interested in these kind of things. Anyhow, all right. So we just ticked off 10K. 11K to go. All right. And time-wise, we are on 22 minutes. So in about half a K, we are 23 minutes. If the first half and the second half were equal in difficulty, I would be like, okay, so 46 minutes. That would put us right around the time when the race starts. But yeah, I don't think that this will happen because we are still on only 44 vertical meters. And with 4 times that or 5 times that still to come, our time will most likely increase for the second half, which again doesn't really matter. This is supposed to be a recovery ride. If we manage to stay in zone 1, which we have so far, then yeah, no problems. And then even better, I do think that my friends, they will appreciate me being on time and us having dinner all together. Yeah, it's actually a co-worker of mine of Russian origin who is has been working in the same company here in China pretty much ever since I started, which is 5 years ago. So yeah, so he started maybe 2 weeks after me, and yeah, so we have been the last 2 remaining foreigners who have been here for more than 4 years, for quite some time. There are some other foreigners, but they just either joined recently or maybe like 3 years ago. But yeah, anyways, so he will actually continue to work for the same company in our Canadian office in Vancouver, which is where he's originally located. Or so for him, it's, you know, it's a blessing to be back in Canada and be close to the family. Still work for the same company, so he knows the in and outs and what is required of him. And yeah, so that was really nice. Very, very happy for him. Little bit nervous because it means that things here are gonna get a little bit more bleak. When I started in this company, there were more than 100 foreigners working for essentially this department that we came out of. I think it was actually 140 foreigners from all different backgrounds. So we originally had lots of people from Europe and the US, but also from Korea, Japan, India, and now it is essentially a co-worker of mine and I, who both German, and a couple of Japanese co-workers, maybe 5. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Maybe 1 Indian we still have, or 2. So, but from our, former glory of, I don't know, 100 something odd people, we are down to less than 10, which makes for a very different, social life that you have outside of work. Simply because, yeah, you have maybe less interactions. Also, nothing against my Japanese colleagues, but in general, they also do tend to be amongst themselves, or, do their things at home by themselves. And so the culture of going out, being out and about, has definitely decreased by quite a bit. But that's not all bad. That's why I'm actually looking forward to tonight, having, a proper send-off for one of our friends / co-workers, and then probably have to deal with only seeing him on, video calls. So just because I drank something, we just briefly got into zone 2 for 9 seconds. Now we're back in zone 1. Yeah, so this is Box Hill. As it says on the screen, about 3 kilometers long and with an average gradient of 4.3%. Yeah, quite annoying, but most hills or most climbs are. But we are just chugging along nicely here. No pressure to do any personal bests or yeah. Actually, funnily enough, it seems like I'm still ahead of my previous personal best, which must have also been on a recovery ride or warm-up. Yeah, so we managed just about 19 minutes 24 seconds. So let's see if we can beat this today. At the moment we seem to be 2 seconds ahead of ourselves. So let's see. Yeah, I used to live actually around London, in the south of London, in Surrey. And I did a lot of mountain biking there. And yeah, I don't know if people know, but the area down there is actually quite hilly. I mean, when you think about, let's say, Scotland or, you know, the Midlands between England and Scotland, you know, then you think, okay, yeah, there are mountains, and but in the south of England, you wouldn't necessarily think, or at least I didn't, that there are some climb-worthy challenges, but there are. So yeah, for all of you in the UK, greetings. I actually lived in near Crawley, where Gatwick Airport is, and I had my work in Horsham. A very nice area. I do miss the pub culture you have going there, and the actually, yeah. Let me just go off on a tangent here. The British kitchen. I mean, lots and lots has been said about the British cooking, but I found that as for pub food, like what kind of amazing food you can get in the pub for, very little money. So, maybe like fish and chips, or, some meat pies, or whatever, or like, Sunday roast. I have to say that, I really, really enjoyed that part of England where you can actually go to a pub and actually expect good food. So, I really enjoyed that. And of course, I'm pretty sure most people know, but I wanna say that the UK in general has probably some of the best Indian food outside of India, and I do really enjoy Indian food, and I have a lot of fond memories of like very good Indian food, even in like small towns. I used to work for the University of St Andrews up in Scotland, and to this day I want to say that I had my best naan in St Andrews, a town that, if the students are gone, has maybe like 5,000 inhabitants. When the students are there, it's like maybe 30 or even more, but a small town. Let's just use our power up here, because it seems like a relatively flat okay, now it's back to 8%, but I'm sure on the top of the hill we are actually getting another power up. Anyhow, just saying that yeah, that in St. Andrews I probably had the best naan I ever had. Yeah. And in Dundee, where I lived, also lots of like Indian restaurants. Yeah, really enjoyed that. I actually still have a flat in Dundee, and yeah, it's rented out at the moment, but I always thought, oh, you know, maybe one day when it's not rented out, then maybe I can stay there and just enjoy a couple of days and go up to the Highlands, which I really like. So many good tours I had up there, just driving around, getting into B&Bs, up to Inverness, of course, went up to, you know, Loch Ness and that whole thing. But yeah, I do remember like how beautiful it was, and I still to this day say that the nature that's up there, that it's very hard to beat the color composition of the blue turquoise green of the sea, the yellow sandy beaches in St. Andrews, the saturated green of the old golf course, and that paired with the blue sky. But this is also, of course, where the problem is, because that happens maybe on 1 or 2 days a year that you have a blue sky. And yeah, but if you have one of those days, it's glorious, absolutely glorious. Yeah, I think I mentioned it in one of my previous videos that I used to work for the Department of Chemistry, solid state chemistry to be more precise, and the lab in the chemistry building was facing towards the old golf course, and then you could actually see in the distance, you could see the beach, St. Andrews Beach. And yeah, as I said, it's on one of those glorious summer days where everything just worked out and the colors were as described earlier. It was just stunning, absolutely stunning. So yeah, so greetings to Scotland. Maybe leave a message if you are from Scotland or from the UK for that matter, and let me know where you are located, what kind of rides are in your area. Yeah, I wish I could come back one of these days and check out how things have changed. Yeah, we'll see, maybe. Well, it seems also that you asked for the Scots. Like, I mean, we're in London right now, but so England had already some representation on Zwift, but now it seems as if Scotland has some as well, because the New World Scotland has just recently been opened, and I think it will be used for the esports World Championships that I think will happen next month, February. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they actually did. So very happy for the Scots to also be represented in Zwift now. Oh man, lots of people just zooming by. So I can't even hit the ride on as many times as people are flying by here. But of course we'll continue to do that because it's just the right thing to do. A little yeah, pat on the shoulder saying, hey, you know, you guys are doing great. Continue. So let's see if he already got one. No, he did not. So one to our German compatriot, Ankna or Ankna. Korean zooming by, so of course we'll drop a ride on him as well. And if you feel like standing a ride on and you're not on Zwift, you're in luck, because you can still do a very, very similar thing that I would appreciate as much as a ride on, which is a like on YouTube, or how I call them, a YouTube ride on. So yeah, feel free to hit that button if this is something that you enjoy watching, or you know, that helps you in your riding, or you know, you like seeing somebody suffer and spreading some words of not wisdom into the world, then yeah, then I much appreciate if you like or even consider subscribing. If you hit this notification button, then of course you will always be notified once I upload a new video, which I aim to do probably like 5 times per week. That's like the goal. There will be more focus on races, so simply because I cannot imagine people sitting in front of their computer or TV or phone and just watching someone pedal at now 100 watts through the wilderness and just talking random stuff. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is exactly what you want. Maybe this is exactly what you were looking for. And then I'm very, very happy and glad to be of service. All right. So what are we doing now? So we are closing in on 15K. I unfortunately did not really pay attention to when we started the KOM here, this Box Hill KOM. Otherwise I would know how many meters we have left. So I can also see that my ghost avatar from the previous ride up here actually closed in on us. It's now only like 7 seconds behind. So yeah, that's usually like a sign that I try to bring up the speed just a little bit. Not because it's important for me to have another PB, because it really isn't, especially not at, you know, what do we do on average here, 116 watts. But yeah, I would of course also not, if I can avoid it, be reeled in by myself. Anyways, so let's just finish this KOM here. It looks like we are on the way to get to just below 19 minutes. But you can see, I'm not sure if my picture's covering it, but I think I saw, yeah, 6:42 0.8 as the best time going up this hill, which is, yeah, quite impressive. But anyways, for today, we'll just want to roll through here. And then take the downhill on the other side. And we are also not quite done yet with climbing, as we have only managed 190 meters so far. So there's about 65 meters left or so of climbing. So 1/3 more. All right, I love this panning view. They have that also somewhere in Mercury Island when you're riding by a pond. Beautiful. All right, so downhill it is. Now we got the feather, which we'll certainly not need on the downhill. And yeah, we'll also not use it now, but we'll just wait until we hit some steeper slopes. Nice. A rider from the UK. So greetings. So maybe we'll use it here. There seems to be another KOM coming up. I'm still getting used to the new gearing that I put on the kicker bike. So I used to have a 2x setup, but on recommendation from a friend and a rider who's much stronger than me, who has the same bike, was smart trainer. He said, there's no weight penalty. Why are you not going for a 3x? And, you know, have way more gears. Okay, that makes sense. Let's do that. But so, I don't know if you know how the kicker bike looks, but it has like this very small display. Just like off center from the top tube, and yeah, you can see like which chain ring you're in and which cock you're in. And where before on the flats I used to be in 2.5 and sometimes 2.6, but now of course this is all shifted, and so now I'm 2.7, and so that messes me up a little bit because, you know, it's not muscle memory, but my head tells me, oh yeah, but isn't like 2.5 your normal gear? Why is it now different? Should I change? And same is true for climbs. When in the 2x setup, I would then go for most climbs, I would then go on the first ring in the front and then shift through the rear gears as I need it. But now for most of the climbs, even like, you know, 10% or so, and even keeping the power relatively low, I can stay with the second ring in the front. And yeah, So let's see what we do with power. 115 on average. Okay, great. And now there's only 3 kilometers left, which will go by really, really quickly. Oh, I think this is the Shard, one of the most iconic buildings in London. And then let's see if we get that route badge. Of course we should. And I think we get like maybe 420 or so XP extra, which is also nice. Because it is as if we wrote this twice. Because we are getting 20 XP for each completed kilometer. So here with 21 full kilometers, should be at like 420 that we accumulated throughout the ride, and then getting another 420. Nice. But let's see how it works, and then let's see if if the data is actually getting uploaded to Strava, which has been an issue before, but hopefully it has been solved. Yeah, yesterday was the first time when my rides actually then uploaded to Strava again. But since I was playing around with everything, I went into my settings in Connect, in the Connect app as well. And put another button on that says to also upload from the first one. I think the standard one is Garmin Connect, or from the Connect app, and the other one is then from the Garmin watch or so. And then I actually had each ride twice uploaded to Strava. But that's relatively easy to find out which one to delete, because one of those rides updated or uploaded doesn't carry any of the metadata, like meters climbed and stuff. So that was obviously the one that had to go. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So quite happy with not having to participate in the race, but also to have done some 20k, have spun out the legs, and hopefully deserve some dinner. Yeah, if you enjoy this kind of writing and me talking about stuff, let me know. If there's any particular topic that you would like me to address, maybe we try to keep contentious topic like religion and politics off the table for now. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe this is something for later. But let me know if you see any value in this, or if you have any recommendations. I will most likely continue with this anyways, because for me it's just like a very nice outlet to share my hobby with people, also stay in contact with some people who I have not seen for a long time, and kind of keep up with them. Anyways, so I was actually thinking that we would be closer to 250 vertical meters. That doesn't seem to be the case unless there's another big climb in the last half a kilometer, which I don't think there is, but maybe there's. Anyhow, we will continue to finish the kilometer that we started. So we'll be finishing at 21.2, which means that I will be finishing at 22 kilometers and maybe even do 23, simply because 23 is one of the, if not my favorite number. Yeah, so I think let's do that. Let's do 23, and let's hope that there's not going to be another big climb in between. Anyhow, so for now, let's just see if we unlock that route badge. And of course we did. And yeah, there were 420 XP points. And I don't know if you saw this, an additional 250, which again doesn't happen often, but I was very lucky yesterday because I had the same thing yesterday, where I got the big bonus, the big XP bonus. Because usually when it ends on the plus, you are getting 10 XP extra. But every now and then, I don't know the calculation and the odds, but every now and then, we're actually getting 250, which is what we just did. Which again, is the equivalent of having ridden 12.5K, which we didn't. So yeah, very nice, good on us, happy about this. So for that, it's also okay then not to get a power up. If, making another 250 XP points. And that, just from eyeballing it, I would say we are about 70% of level 29. So I definitely think that level 29 is coming later this week. And then I think from 29 to 30, it requires 1,000 meters ridden, which is quite a bit. Anyways, for those aware of my goals for this year, I apologize for repeating myself. But one of the things is that I would really like to go to level 50, simply because of the fire socks. And the calculation showed that it will require me to get 17,500 kilometers or equivalent, like those are the XP point equivalents that I would need. And yeah, of course, as long as we still have new routes, we of course get more XP points. But at some point we will run out of new routes, and then it's simply the distance. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we still have, I don't know, maybe some 20,000 points, XP points. The PRL is already 3.5. I'm sure there's going to be maybe close to 20,000 XP still available, up for grabs, for simply riding routes that we haven't ridden yet. Anyways, So we are nearing 23K. I will leave it here, and I will say thank you for joining. Thanks for indulging me and sticking around for an hour with this ranting lunatic here. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Don't forget, ride hard, have fun, tight. So tight cycling out, and most likely upload another one tomorrow. So take care for now. Have a lovely Tuesday, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.